I will say this, democracy is dying.
Motion number 4 on prevention and suppression of terrorism. Minister to move. Minister Dan Jarvis.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I beg to move that the Terrorism Act 2000 Prescribed Organisations Amendment Order of 2025, which was laid before the House on the 30th of June, be approved. I'm grateful to the House for its consideration of this draft order, which will see 3 distinct groups prescribed. They are Maniacs Murder Cult, Palestine Action and the Russian Imperial Movement. I'm going to make a bit of progress. I think it is not unreasonable. The prescription of these 3 organisations will reaffirm the UK's zero-tolerance approach to terrorism, regardless of its form or underlying ideology. Now, first, Madam Deputy Speaker, it may be helpful if I set out some background to the prescription power. To prescribe an organisation, the Home Secretary must reasonably believe that it is concerned in terrorism. This means that the organisation commits or participates in terrorism, it prepares for terrorism, it promotes or encourages terrorism, or it is otherwise concerned in terrorism. Some 80 terrorist organisations are currently prescribed under the Terrorism Act of 2000. Prescription is, rightly, ideologically neutral. It judges an organisation on its actions and the actions it is willing to deploy in pursuit of its cause. The UK's definition of terrorism was established in law a quarter of a century ago, and it has stood the test of time and extensive scrutiny since. I'll make a little bit of progress and then I will give way. It has 3 limbs. 1. The use or threat of action must reach a certain level of seriousness, such as serious violence or serious damage to property. 2. The use or threat must be designed to influence a government or intimidate the public or a section of the public. And 3. The use or threat must be made for the purpose of advancing a political, religious, racial or ideological cause. Successive independent reviewers of terrorism legislation have upheld the UK's terrorism definition as effective and fit for purpose, even as the threat from terrorism has evolved. I'll give way in just a moment. Madam Deputy Speaker, prescription is one of the most powerful counter-terrorism tools available to government. Any decision to prescribe is taken with great care and following rigorous consideration, as noted by Jonathan Hall KC in his report on the operation of the Terrorism Acts of 2022. I will give way to the right honourable gentleman.
Jeremy Corbyn.
Minister for giving way, and I'm grateful to him for that. I think the question that many of us want to put to him is, why has he linked these 3 organisations together? He clearly has made a judgment on each of the 3 organisations independently of each other. And I think it would be fair, and I'm sure many outside would think it would be fair, if we were taking individual votes on the 3. Because many of us are very concerned about the issue facing Palestine Action, and that is the issue that we wish to address in the debate here today.
Mr. Dan Jarvis.
I can say to the right honourable gentleman that I will come on and explain with real clarity precisely why we have proceeded in the way that we have. But I suspect that he has a long memory, and he will recall, I'm sure, that when he's voted against prescribing a number of organisations previously, including Al-Qaeda in 2001, that particular motion was bundled along with 20 other militant organisations. So there is clear precedent for doing this. And I can say to him, the reason that we seek to do it is to demonstrate that we don't attach any kind of ideological prism with which to seek to make a judgment. The Home Secretary will take a view based on a legal threshold, and that is the basis on which we have proceeded. I'll give way to the honourable member.
First of all, can I thank the Minister for bringing this forward, and Minister, my party will be supporting government in putting this, and if it does come to a vote, as some I think might indicate they wish to do, we'll support government and Labour, because security, coming from Northern Ireland, we understand what it means to have security and what it's important to have. Government and ministers and the police and the army and MI5 and MI6 all have a responsibility. Minister, this question I want to ask, in relation to the membership of those organisations, will it be the intention of the Minister to is there a list of Palestine Action, for instance? Is there a list of those who may be members? I don't know where they are. There might even be some in this House, perhaps. But if there is, perhaps maybe we'll understand, and will they be subject to the rulings of prescription as well? Thank you.
Look, I'm grateful to him for his intervention, and I know that he speaks with great authority on these matters, born out of his extensive experience of dealing with these matters in Northern Ireland. Can I just say to him that if he's just a little bit patient, and if the House allows me to make a bit of progress, then I will explain and respond to the point that he's raised and the point that other honourable members are seeking to raise. So if the House will allow, I will now turn to the specific measures before the House today, taking each of the proposed additions to the list of prescribed organisations in order. Madam Deputy Speaker, first, the Maniacs Murder Cult, also known as MMC. MMC is an insidious, white supremacist, neo-Nazi organisation that operates online and across borders. It aims to encourage individuals to engage in acts of violence against people that it perceives as antisocial, including homeless people, drug addicts and migrants, all to further its own ideology and degrade human society through violence. The government assesses that MMC commits, prepares for and promotes and encourages acts of terrorism. MMC members and leaders have claimed a number of violent attacks globally that were committed in pursuit of the group's aims. MMC supplies instructional material that could increase the capability or motivation of an aspiring attacker, including a guide which provides information on how to fatally attack someone with a knife and use a vehicle as a weapon. Members and non-members share MMC's material and other online content, including videos of violent attacks to encourage further violence in support of its ideology. On the 22nd of May, a 21-year-old Georgian national, considered to be one of MMC's leaders, known as Commander Butcher, was extradited to the United States and is set to stand trial in New York for soliciting hate crimes and acts of mass violence. As set out in the indictment, he is alleged to have recruited individuals online to promote MMC's ideologies by committing acts of murder, arson, bombing and mass poisoning in New York, targeted specifically at members of ethnic minority groups, homeless people and Jewish school children. As this case illustrates, MMC has a truly transnational audience, including the UK. It does not matter where the leaders of this network are based if they are capable of inspiring acts of violence and terror in any country. Vulnerable individuals, such as minors, are particularly exposed to the horrific material MMC publishes and distributes online. This government will not stand by and allow the terrorist threat and wider societal harms caused by the MMC to persist. Prescribing MMC is key to help deter and divert individuals from engaging with MMC's violent content and sends a clear signal to social media companies to remove MMC's material from their platforms. The threat posed by MMC must be taken extremely seriously. Whether they are inspiring acts of violence against our people or influencing young people to commit those acts, we will not hesitate to take action against groups like these to keep our country safe.
Yeah.
I will give way, yeah.
It's a forgiving way, and I agree with him that it clearly meets the threshold very significantly. But I'm bound to ask the question: when did the actions of MMC first come to the attention of the government, and why has it left it so long to bring forward this proposal, and why is it simply left it until a point when it's politically convenient to bring it forward?
I'm sorry that the honourable member has chosen to make that final point. There is no political convenience in what we are seeking to do today. What we are seeking to do today is ensure the security of our country. And if he's just a little bit patient, let me further make that case to him and to the House. Madam Deputy Speaker, let me turn now to Palestine Action. The public attention it has garnered should not be confused with legitimacy, and nor should a group formed 5 years ago be conflated with the legitimate campaign for Palestinian rights and statehood, which has existed in our country and in this House for more than 5 decades. Madam Deputy Speaker, let me be clear. The prescription of Palestine Action does not seek to ban protest that supports Palestine. There are many ways in which people can continue.
Why do I say this? Yesterday, we saw Britain Parliament vote to make sure that Palestinian Action is a terrorist movement. My question is, you can see that democracy is dying, and this is going against freedom of speech. Tell me why it's okay to demonstrate, to lobby for Israel, and it's wrong to lobby, to demonstrate for Palestinian people. And these are the people who are coming to tell us that we need gay rights, we need LGBT. You know, you cannot talk about sex orientation when you treat Global South, when you treat people like blacks and Arabs in Africa and Middle East, or generally Global South, like subhumans, and you tell us that you care about democracy and you care about human rights. You know, when it comes to ensuring human rights and to ensure that we respect rule of law and international law, we cannot be subjective. We must ensure that whether you are a Jew, you are an Arab, Muslim, African, Briton, US citizen, we must ensure that these people, no matter where you come from, you enjoy same and equal human rights and protected them by your government. I feel like people are always complaining about this Derangai and Gaston Ballet event, but no one is talking about that. There's an Israeli artist by the name Golani who said that we should wipe up Gaza, kill kids, women, and innocent men indiscriminately. And what happened? He was rewarded with a festival in Paris, and his song was used as a war song by IDF. You know, we need to be very sincere that we cannot keep pretending or hiding ourselves in the sand and pretending that we care about human rights, we care about democracy. We cannot promote hate from one side or fighting hate from the other side. I feel bad that whatever is happening now, and this then recognizing Palestinian Action as a terrorist group is the biggest undoing for Jews. Because what happened is, people start questioning, why are these people treated like a superhuman or treated like a superior tribe than others? Why are they not enjoying the same human rights like us? Why do they have certain favors that we cannot have? This is very dangerous, and this is how Hitler came up. He didn't come from nowhere. Remember, Hitler was voted for. And this is how it starts. When you start silencing one side in excuse of the other. When you start promoting one hate, you start saying that promoting genocide is okay, but demonstrating and asking for equal human rights for Palestinians like the Jews or the Zionists is a terrorist movement. Don't you see the discrepancies? Let me know what you think about this in the comment section. I'm your host, James. Let's meet in the next video.